politics. All right.
The fun part.
This is Liz Cheney. You might know the name Cheney because her father, Dick Cheney, Richard Cheney, but I think we all prefer to call him Dick, was the vice president of the United States, famous warmonger.
I might say he was the president of the United States.
Yeah, so some might say, and they would be right. His daughter Liz is also known for being a warmonger, also known for kind of helping along the birtherism thing that was going on, that was very famous in the Republican Party during the Obama presidency.
She missed her own sister's wedding because it was a gay wedding.
Yes. So we're saying all that to say it's not like she's our favorite person in the world. But the reason she's in the news is because she had the temerity to suggest that the election was not stolen. And she had the temerity to suggest that Donald Trump had some responsibility for the riot that occurred on January 6th because he incited the crowd. He told the crowd to fight and yada, yada. And she was like, well, he shouldn't have said that. She doesn't think that he should hold any office anymore, yada, yada. Well, because of that, the Republicans took a vote today being the 13th of May, Thursday, and they've ousted her from her position, her chairwoman position, which is like the third highest ranking Republican in the House of Representatives, because she won't agree with them that the election was stolen. Thoughts, Zeus?
Man, I really don't. I'm just, it's one of these things where I'm like, the POS has been out of office for freaking 5 months, and he's still in control of that party.
Yeah,
and
he's dominating their agendas for the day.
And I'm like, why? Because you guys have the ability to just get rid of him. Yeah. Like, they really do. Republicans have the opportunity to get rid of him. They can literally, like, blacklist him and never have to deal with him again. And trust me, the American people would not really care. You'll have that group that will say something, but America is so easily there. It's so easy to put the wool over their eyes that you could blacklist them, but it really won't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he's not on the ballot, they're not going to vote for him. They're still going to vote Republican.
Yeah, they will. That's one thing I don't get about these people who are like holding so much water for Trump. Like, they believe that if they don't have Trump, like if they're not kneeling to Trump at all times, that they will lose Republican votes. No, you won't. Like, they might not like you for doing that, but they're not going to vote Democrats. Trust me. Like, I know a lot of these people that vote Republicans, they're not going to switch to Democrat because
they might not vote.
That's the thing. They might not turn out, but they most certainly will not vote Democrat. Liz Cheney gave a speech last night that I posted on my Facebook. I thought it was actually a really good speech. The whole idea is about loving your country so much to defend it. Obviously, in stark contrast to all of this, where you basically don't condemn this man for continuing to go to everywhere he can. He's been going to weddings talking about how this election was stolen, and putting out memos and stuff. This is the kind of stuff that incites more violence. People believed so much that their vote was stolen away from them that they went and they stormed the U.S. Capitol. People died in the process, and now we have hearings that are looking into the storming of the Capitol, in which Republican congressmen, I believe one of them, Paul Gosar, said that Trump supporters didn't come and attack the Capitol. Trump supporters are the ones that died on that day. Yeah, they died because they attacked the Capitol and the Capitol police fought back. What do you mean that they were the ones that died that day? Yeah, why were they there?
So a good way to what is that? Changing the goalpost?
Yeah, moving. I mean, eliminating the goalpost altogether. So So the speech is really good. I'll put it in the description, or I'll comment on the page. I think everyone should watch that. I think it's very important. But the other thing I want to touch on is this is all happening amidst a time when we have a congresswoman who who had said anti-Semitic things, who was talking about forest fires being caused by Jewish space lasers, who basically attacked a woman with a trans daughter that was speaking out for this whole HR. I can't remember which HR it was, but basically having like equal rights, like including sexual orientation or gender within like civil rights protections. You have that lady, and the Republicans won't condemn her. They won't remove her from her positions. It took Democratic votes to remove her from her positions. And then you have Matt Gaetz, also in the House, who has credible allegations against him that he's been having dalliances, to put it nicely, with underage girls, and they won't touch him. They won't remove him from any committees he's on. They won't do anything to him. But Liz Cheney dares to say that, look, the election was not stolen. We just need to do better as a party. Or she dares to say that the president bears some responsibility in what happened, and you remove her before you remove the potential pedophile and the anti-Semites. And that just shows you who the Republican Party is today. You know, like what the Republican Party wants to be.
Yeah. My question is, though, real Republicans who vote for conservative values, not these outlandish claims, who are a little old school, talking about like 1960 kind of values, right? Where are they? Why aren't they speaking up?
This is a good question, because actually it reminds me of something I forgot to add to the story. Liz Cheney is being replaced by Elise Stefanik. Or at least she's the front runner to replace Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney voted with Trump 92% of the time. That's like on policies that Trump signed in or Trump himself like pushed for. She voted with those policies 92% of the time. Elise Stefanik voted with him 77% of the time. So it's not a matter of who has more conservative values, because if it's that, it's Liz Cheney. It's a matter of, did you kiss the ring? So to answer your question about where are the real Republicans, apparently there's like 100 or so Republicans that have threatened to break away and form their own party or whatever. But like, okay, let's see it, right? Like, yeah, exactly. There's no spine. I've never seen anything like this, where one man, a man who lost an election, is holding your balls in a vice grip like this. I've never seen it. It's astounding. But yeah, that's
Listen, before we move on to the next one, we're just dealing with another
Trumpian
idiot. There's a song that I listened to today that is from Rise Against, who's like my favorite rock band of all time.
Okay.
And they have a song called what is it? Survivor Guilt.
Okay.
And I'll try to post it on the comment, which I haven't done it for the DMX videos yet, but I'll definitely I'll get around to it. But I will do it. But in that song, there's like I don't know if it's a skit or if it's I don't think it's from a movie, because I try to look and see, how whenever like Wikipedia, if you saw the track listing, will say yada yada contained excerpts from,
or samples this or that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't see that on this. I might have to look harder. But anyways, in there they talk about, so there's a guy saying, no, America won't fall. And he's like, what do you mean America won't fall? Every great empire will fall. Prussia fell. Rome fell. And you know what? It might not be in the form of a total collapse, the same way that, the Soviet Union collapsed or the way Rome collapsed, but it's already happening. China slowly has more is becoming a more influential in the country than the U.S. is. I have a feeling that there's going to probably be UK countries eventually that are going to start getting a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like more influence.
European countries?
Countries, yeah. Not the UE, not the AU or UE. EU, because, you know, that kind of broke up a little bit. Although it's still around, right? Like EU
yeah,
it's
it's there. It's just the UK, yeah, they Brexited. So, yeah.
Brexit. Yeah. And then after that, Mexited. But anyways, this isn't the turning point of the GOP only. This is the turning point of the country. That if the right people don't step up to basically nullify this clown, the ramifications of it will be hitting hard for decades. I mean, I always say you can thank Bush too, and the toxicity that happened during his administration between Republicans and Democrats for the rise of Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Like, it happened in the background. Barack Obama came in, but it happened in the background during the Barack Obama years. But it was a direct result of George Bush's administration, that toxicity that started happening, because you saw it was getting nasty. It got nastier. Stephen Colbert was actually on a podcast talking about this, and he was like, I can't do this. I wouldn't be able to do the Stephen Colbert
the Colbert
character.
Report. Yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't be able to do the Colbert Report. I wouldn't be able to do that character anymore. He was like, because it's no longer it's nasty now. It's not the way it was before. Now it's nasty. Now it's disturbing. Yeah. And I really feel like this is showing that it's gonna keep getting bad. Like, right, within the political parties, something's gonna happen, and it's gonna be it's gonna be close to the collapse of the United States. It just might not be in the same way that the Soviet Union collapsed. You know, all these other countries collapsed.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be some type of shaky foundation for us, or some type. It's gonna get bad, and this is really gonna be the downfall of American politics.
Yeah.
This would be the downfall of American politics if the right people don't step up to make sure it doesn't come out that bad. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's always going to be takes that are horrible, but this one is just it's showing that, yo, you aren't about country. You're about not even about party anymore. You're about cult of personality.
Yeah, it's about the person. It's about Trump. It has nothing to do with the party. It has nothing to do with like conservative values. I saw someone in one of the comments in a Fox News clip about this saying that good riddance, she's a rhino. And I'm like, she's a rhino. She voted more for Republican backed things than the person that they're trying to replace her with. Like the person they're trying to replace her with didn't even vote for the Trump tax cuts. Liz Cheney did. You know, like the idea that she's now a Republican in name only because she doesn't want to kiss the ring of some guy who's only a Republican because it suited his needs, because he knew that's the only party he could win an election in. Like, I don't know, man. Like, we can't have civil discourse anymore. And I worry that the kind of anger that it took to make people go and break into the US Capitol will spread into the streets of like other American states. I don't think it's going to get to a full-on violent civil war, but it's going to be just little pockets of like, you know, problematic things going on that I'm not looking forward to. So that's the Liz Cheney story. The moral of the story is that the Republicans, they've lost their way, man.